Hey girls, my name is Carlin Craig and I'm an elite executive in your upline. Alicia asked me to share a video on some tips and tricks for recruiting and building your team for your training this weekend. So a couple things that I wanted to share with you are setting goals for adding to your team. So from the beginning, since I first kind of noticed that maybe this could be something huge, my goal has been to add 1 to 2 new team members per month consistently. If you consistently build your front line, then you're going to consistently contribute to your TRV. And as your team grows and as you start to promote and move up, you'll notice you promote leaders, you promote team managers, that TRV is really important to maintain. So my goal is to consistently add 1 to 2 new team members per month. And how I do that is, since it's on my radar and since that's my goal for the month, it's always in the back of my head as I'm talking to people and just working with my hostesses and other people that I run into involving Jamberry. So it's much more likely to happen because I'm thinking ahead towards that goal. Also, as far as recruiting and adding to your team, getting nail wraps on their hands is by far the most amazing way to really add them to your team because the product proves itself. It really does. I've done chip challenges before, and usually out of about 10 ladies, usually about 2 end up joining. I've also done the hand model challenge, which is kind of a different version of the chip challenge, only you send them a half sheet of wraps and they actually do a full manicure with the wraps. That has been huge. I just did one, and a lot of friends and old hostesses jumped in on that. They were very helpful. They were going to contribute their hand shots so I could have before and after pictures, application, and then 7 days later. And boy, I tell you what, those girls, two of them have already signed up, and they did their challenge, gave me their photos, and it opened a door to talk. Now that they had those on their hands, and I thanked them for their photos, and from there we just kind of started talking, and both of them mentioned, I've thought about doing this, but I've never really taken the plunge, and I just kind of went from there. So those are 2 tips that have really helped me with my recruiting. And one more would be just to keep track of your pipeline. Anyone who constantly likes your photos, participates in your parties, maybe orders from you every now and then, but just hasn't actually verbalized their interest. Definitely keep track of that pipeline. When we come out with a new catalog, include them in your VIP group. Nurture that relationship, and someday maybe that door will open and you can talk to them about Jamberry. So those are my top 3 tips on how to add to your team